Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy live. We are back on Facebook and our YouTube channel as well. I'm so glad to be back. Oh my goodness gracious, what the ordeal that was, but we are back, baby, and excited to be back here on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel as well. I got an awesome show lined up for you tonight with Mr. Phil Breeden himself. And man, it can't wait. This guy's been running everywhere across the world, and super excited about that. Hey, and another thing, not only did I get my Facebook page fixed, but man, check this out. I mean, after a year and a half, they finally got my stars fixed. I have been through 3 different channels. Everybody kept requesting I get stars. I was like, man, I've tried everything I can. 2 different support tickets was opened up. Man, this guy was so good when we got everything set up with our account. I told him about this. He said, man, let me see what I can do for you. 2 hours later, I had stars on my account. So,
all right.
So we're super excited about that, man. If you want to throw us some love, there's the price. I mean, 500 stars gets us gets us $5. We can almost buy a hamburger. 1,000 gets us 10. I mean, it's multiples. You see how it works. So
man, did we pay that, or does somebody running this program give you the money?
No, well, anybody that's watching in the comments that's got a star, they can click it and put it in, and it.
But it charges us that money to give to you. Yes. Is that what it does? Okay, I never understood that, so I'm just asking.
No, what it does, it just sends money and it goes into my Facebook account, my monetized account.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to generate a little money for all the time and effort and stuff we put in. It keeps our show going. So, man, if y'all want to throw us some stars, and we got some cool things that I'm thinking about doing, maybe some backstage stuff real quick after the podcast is over. So anyway, and it's going to be good. I'm excited, and man, I'm excited to get my dadgum stars. I did a live deal the other day, and I had the first guy sent me like 530 stars. I was like, $5.30, man. I need to put your name down. So
that's right.
Anyway, it was awesome. It was absolutely great. So anyway.
The crew is back. How long we were gone, Mike? 50 days, 65 days?
45, 46 days. It was a freaking nightmare, struggle, pains, worry, sick feeling that, like, man, am I going to ever get this page back? And man, I tell you what, it was great to finally get it back, and it happened a whole lot. I mean, we were still having to go through a process, but the guy that I opened up my support case with, he had seen this case was still going. He had been gone for like 38 days, and he came back and he was reviewing his cases, and he's like, man, this thing should have been handled by now. And he reached out to me in the support ticket. He went through all of it, and he said, man, let's see if we can get this fixed up for you. And he said, you do have to open up a support ticket, another one. You have to put all those documents in a separate one. And right before we was fixing to do it, he asked me, did I have an Instagram account? Yep. And he told me how to get in. Man, we immediately got the whole thing fixed. And now knowing what I know, I mean, this thing would have never, I mean, I could have been back in my account in 30 minutes, 45 minutes after it happened. I do know how to do that now. So anyway, but it's good to be back, man. We're excited.
Yeah, problems, call Mike.
Yeah, that's right. If that ever happens to any of you guys, give me a call, because I can probably walk you through it. So anyway, Bobby's with us. Two Sauces with us, man. I appreciate it. Mr. John, thank you for joining us. Man, I think that guy had a birthday yesterday. So, Emmeline, thank you for being. Welcome back to Facebook. Yeah. Emmeline, thank you. Yes. Mr. Frank, thank you. Lance, Mark, man, we got a bunch of folks here tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Got Mr. Justin, Cast Iron Cookers. Man, we got a lot of folks on here tonight. Mr. Larry, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Jason Pettis, what is he saying? I think Kyle Blanchard hacked you when you had us on. I'm telling you, it wasn't him. I promise you it was not him. So anyway, but no, we're excited to be back. We're really thankful that everybody kind of hung out with us, and man, I just appreciate it. I'm sorry for all the horrible videos and foul language and crap that was being posted, and man, it's just sick when you don't have no control over none of that stuff. So anyway,
right, man,
Aaron, I don't know what you got going on, brother, but man, you've been killing it. Another freaking huge weekend this past weekend.
I'm going to say that damn chicken, man. I got a comment that said the bone was inconvenient on my chicken, and I looked at the scores, and I'm like, I'm like, really? I mean, I just needed a 15th, and that was it. It was a GC, and me and Carl Davis sit next to each other. We're like going back and forth, like, well, there's not much room left, not much room left. And so he was 11th, and I was 27th. But yeah, man, first place rib. This thing's still. I've got it. I've got it dialed in. I hope to a little bit.
Yeah.
Pork and brisket threw right on there where they needed to be. So
yeah,
I'll take a fourth overall.
You've been killing it. You've been killing it, no doubt. And Lee, I know
try to get those 7 knocked out before Christmas.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, go ahead and do that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So, how many have you already got since the new season? You got
3.
1 or 2? You got 3 already.
3.
Man, you're on a roll, buddy.
Okay.
You got it. I think you're in a good shape.
That's probably it. That'll be it right there. I probably just cheated it.
Probably. You know how that goes. You know how that goes. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Many, many times.
Oh, I know it. Oh, goodness gracious. Uh-oh, his phone's locking up on us.
Okay, it's not me, right? It's him?
No, it's him. It's
okay.
him.
All right.
Let's go. Welcome back, Barbecue Champs. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it, man. Glad to be back, man. Glad to be back. We got a lot of stuff fixed up. We're good to go. Yeah, you're good now.
You're good now.
It's a little lagging. So anyway, and Lee, I know you're heading up, man, getting ready to go to World Food. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck for that. You're about 5 weeks away from that?
A little less than that. I just came back from the World Squirrel Championship up in Arkansas. Got 7th in the world on the squirrel. Now I'm getting ready to go cook at the Jack Daniels. Mark Lambert, BBQ, and myself are doing a little pop-up demo for Jack Daniels and Duraflame, and then right from there to World Foods.
There you
go see if I can't defend my title.
There you
One
go.
more year. So yes, sir.
That's good. That's good, man. Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, we're going to thank our partners real quick. We haven't given them much love in the last 5 weeks. So thank you, David, with Gunnar Wilhelm Knives, B&B Charcoal. As always, we appreciate your love and support. Miss Dick Gale, the Daigle's Barbecue Sauces and Rubs. And once again, if you're needing Prairie Fresh product, Raider Red Meats, talk to Kirsten. She can hook you up. She's got naturals and also the prime ribs as well. Well, man, I'm telling you what, been waiting a long time to get this guy back on here, and he has been touring all over the world. Mr. Phil Breeden himself, LC Barbecue. Hey, brother, how are you doing?
What's up, fellas?
Man, I don't know. Just living vicariously through you this year, brother. You have been traveling the world from geez, I know. I think didn't you head over to Alaska or something early in the year, and then next thing you know, you're stinking in Australia. And man, you got to tell us the trip around the world, man, firing shots from everywhere. So, what brought that on, and how did all that get lined up for you to be able to go and have people lined up for you to have the equipment and stuff you need?
Yeah, so we did a lot of traveling this summer. So, man, I'm not a big fan of the 157-degree heat in Texas during the summer. So it's always kind of a goal of mine to, head north or, went to Australia last year, and I didn't know until I went and figured all this out, and they're exactly opposite of us. So, man, when it's dead of summer here, man, it's dead of winter there.
Yeah.
And we were over there during the winter, and man, it was like in the 50s most of the time. It snowed on us at one point, right? So it's kind of like winter here. You never know. It might be short weather, or it might be like, man, give it everything you got. Where's the parkas? But I loved it because I love winter weather, especially like in Texas. I don't care for 3 foot of snow, but man, if it's in the 40s and 50s, like I'm like, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amen.
To me. So, man, I met a lot of really cool people when I was over there last year, right? And one of them was Troy Bilbro. He's out of New Zealand. Mm-hmm. His barbecue team name is Beers. He's actually got a few restaurants. He's got a brewery at his barbecue joint in New Zealand. He'll sell his craft beer and whatnot. And man, he was like, "Hey, I want you to come over and do a comp in New Zealand next year." And I'm like, "Man, okay," which all sounds great. And at the time, but a lot logistically you got to figure out. And he was super helpful in doing all that, right, and coordinating that, and we just kept communicating. And I told Carmen, I'm like, "Man, let's go," And then Grant Coleman, who is president of ABA over there, Australia Barbecue Alliance, and he was like, "Man, I want you to come back and do Australia World Championship, the Invitational, and come out to Full Throttle Ranch and do that again this year. So just looking at all the dates, the contest in New Zealand was July. I can't remember now, but mid-July, right? And end of July was the Australia contest. So we lined it up to go over to New Zealand for like 3 weeks and then boom, fly over. It's like 3-hour flight to go to Australia. We landed in Sydney and did that doubleheader the next weekend and spent, 8 or 9, 10 days in Australia. Basically, we were between New Zealand and Australia a month. And I just got the bright idea, like wanting to be, I like going up north. I like going up toward, Montana, Idaho, Minnesota, Wisconsin, all those areas is just real nice during the summer. I mean, it gets a little hot during the day, but not like here when it's like, man, you're just ducking for cover. Like, where's that AC at?
Right.
Other than the worst part of the day, it's pretty nice out a lot of times. So, man, we left June 2nd and we headed up to South Dakota and went and cooked a KCBS, South Dakota Barbecue Championship, state championship up there. We went the next weekend and did a double in Wisconsin. And then we left right after that double and headed up to Minnesota and flew up to Alaska and did that contest. Aaron, I think you did it last year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And anyway, it was kind of fluid. Like that wasn't really planned, but looking at it, I had 4 bunks and I'm like, man, 7's going to be tough. I want to start looking at some of these autos and just the way the year went, you never know where you're going to be. Right. Like last year, man, I ended up getting 6 in Utah, right, in late June. And I'm like, man, we're about to go to Australia. Like, man, I need 7. And I talked to Pam. I'd like to hey, are those going to count? Like, yeah, they count as a home state. I'm like, okay, well, at least they'll count. But I've got the contest to cook in Australia. And I don't know. It's not really how I draw it up, needing 7 to go to Australia to try to get the 7th one.
Right. Yeah.
Never been over. I don't know anything. We're going to borrow everything, ship a few boxes of my stuff up and we'll figure it out. Man, it ended up working out. We got 7 on the last day.
Yeah.
It was very dramatic and it was very, it was very awesome. But
still,
I feel like it took years off my life, just kind of, the anxiety over it and stressing about it. And then fast forward to this year, you never know or whatever. And man, 7 looked out of reach. So man, let's chase some autos. We had the opportunity. I'm like, man, I'm going to New Zealand. There was a lot of autos that I couldn't go chase because we were committed to this other trip. So we decided to fly out to Alaska and do that and give it a shot at that auto. Man, we reserved that by 0.001.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Kurt Wallace DC'd it like I was happy for him, but it's like, wow, that stings a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like,
dang.
Like if it's just a reserve, that's cool, but that was an auto, and so that felt like really close. And then they were doing the one in Rhode Island, the CBA one, the next weekend. So I told Carmen, I'm like, man, I want to go over there and do that one. She's like, okay, So, man, we booked some flights to go to Rhode Island, and we flew from Alaska to Rhode Island.
Oh my gosh!
And then drove down to Rhode Island and did that contest the next weekend. And man, I reserved that one too. It wasn't. It wasn't. Donald King won that contest. And
that's right.
He was sitting right next to me at awards, and he was like, he was having a kind of a little bit, not a meltdown, but like a nervous breakdown. He was so nervous. He's like, Phil, do I have it? Do I have it? Tell me I have it. He was just like,
yeah.
I'm like, bro, you got it. Look, it's you. Like, I have an outside chance. I think he beat me at like 3 out of 4 meets or something. It was all really close though, right? And I'm like, technically, I have a chance, but man, you got it, right?
Right.
And sure enough, they called RGC and it was me, and like, man, I was happy, and he was really obviously going, getting a trip to the Jacks very. Man, not to anybody, right?
Yeah.
So, man, then we get our sheets, and I'm like, oh, it wasn't near as close as last week. This one's 0.6, And then I'm like, okay, we left the next morning and flew to LA for a couple of days to stage up to fly to New Zealand. Then we were off on that trip. And man, we did it, I'm like, okay, all we got to do is win out from here. And we got third in that first New Zealand contest. I'm like, okay, well, now we don't have to worry about it. We'll just wait for the draw and cross our fingers. I didn't even say that because, out of Texas, we never really wait for the draw and cross our fingers. Like, I think like anymore, I don't kind of pay attention.
Right.
So yeah, to get drawn this year, fast forward through all that trip, and to get drawn this year was, and I don't know, I felt just as surprised as winning 7 last year in Australia. So it's been a pretty amazing year back to back, getting opportunities to go cook Jack.
So are you tired of looking at your suitcases?
Oh, I was, we got home. I flew to New Zealand. We were there for a few weeks. We had a couple of weeks before we ended up going over there in Christchurch and doing a master class, which was, a lot of fun. We did it right there at Beer's restaurant. And the following week was that cook-off, also in the same city, not at the same place, but did that contest, which was a cool contest. First time cooking in New Zealand. We were third in the barbecue, and then they had an overall with the SCA and this and that. We ended up reserving for the weekend, which was cool, right? And we had reserved Alaska. We reserved Rhode Island.
Wow. Dang, man. A lot of bridesmaid there. So
man, it kept rolling. So just to keep rolling through that, then we fly over to Australia, and they have the Australia Barbecue World Invitational. And man, Fergalicious, Richard Fergola, GC's it, and I reserved that.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Is that 5? Am I counting? Is that 5 RGCs?
That was 4.
That was 4.
4 weekends in a row with an RGC. That was a double. We had to open the next day, and I ended up 10th. So, but for the weekend, I still had a reserve on one of those. Right? Then we fly home. And we flew, so that contest ended up, it was a double. It was Saturday, Sunday. I think Tuesday we staged up. Man, I don't know. Tuesday at like 10 o'clock, I think we were in New Zealand. And then we flew to LAX, and there's all kinds of time changes, and it all kind of
wow.
Yeah.
And then I flew from LAX. I had to go back up to Minnesota. And, my truck and trailer were up there in Minnesota at Jeff Vanderlinde, Chicken Greenan's house. And
you had to drive home.
What's that? I know, and I'm like, by this time, like I kind of mismanaged all this travel and this trip. Like, I'm determined now, like, and I do a lot of traveling, which is fine, but I'm like, man, I'm like 3 weeks is kind of my max. I'm only going to travel for like 3 weeks at a time because I found that, man, I miss my dog. I want to be home a little bit. I want to put him on bed. And, I'm like, Lee, man, enough of the suitcases. Like, I don't want to see a suitcase for a while, at least a couple weeks. Right?
Yeah.
We flew straight from Sydney to Auckland to LAX to Minneapolis. Man, I got an Uber to Jeff's house, which is like an hour, and got in the truck. I started my truck. He had it pointed in the right direction and ready for me. I said, man, I'm going to lay down, or I'm going to just start driving. I might peel off a couple hours. And I started that truck at 1 a.m.
Oh, no.
It's like 23 hours drive.
Oh, no. Dang.
And I just drove straight home. I got home Thursday night at, man, a little before midnight, I don't know, 10 or 11, like before midnight. And I told Carmen, they had that Hill Country Strong cook-off Bandera benefit for Kerrville. I said, man, I really want to do that cook-off. So, man, the next day I loaded into it. It's in Bandera, so it's only, 10 minutes from the house.
Right.
And then I ended up reserving.
Oh, no. Gosh. Dang. Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Like 5 weekends in a row, And, man, careful what you ask for on breaking those streaks. I broke it. Now I'm like, man, I'm 12th or 13th every week, So.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
It was.
They come in waves, don't they, Phil? They just come in waves.
And they do. We don't control the waves. The waves control us. So.
Yeah.
They do.
We take them as they come.
That's great.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You think about it, it's just as hard to get 6 RGCs as it would be to get 6 GCs. I mean, turn the tide just a little bit and let me get 1 or 2 of them as some GCs in there. I mean, you think about that. That's hard to do. So
I don't know. It seems like, last year, I know because, I was texting Pam, I don't know, in June sometime, like, hey, I've got 6, but I've got 11 RGCs. Can 7 of those be one bong? You know what I mean? Let's just work on this, right? And obviously that didn't work. You had 11 reserves last year.
Dang.
Oh my God.
Wow.
All time, I've got, I don't know, I had to pull it up, but 53 or 54 GCs and 53 or 54 RGCs. So
that's
over
crazy.
Been cooking for 10 years. It's always kind of GCs and RGCs have always been real close for me, give or take. They kind of come in waves, but they're always been really close for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they both feel like wins, other than when you're trying to get to the jack. Then they feel like a kick.
Yeah. Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
man alive.
So Phil, how many cook-offs did you do last year for that cooking season?
50. Yeah, 50.
That's a lot.
God dang.
That's a lot of cooking.
Yeah. It paid off.
Yeah,
it paid off. Though. You're
going $7,000, because I 7 autoed and I had 11. I think I had 11 reserves, but I think I had another grant, another GC or 2 that wasn't a qualifier for whatever reason.
Right.
So, it was a great year.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Wow.
But yeah. And then I've done 50, Lee. I've done 50. 2018 is when I started, I didn't set out to do it. It just kind of happened. January of 2018, I went and did a cook-off, and the next weekend I did a cook-off, and the next weekend I did a cook-off. I looked up, I'm like, man, that's 3 in a row. And I started in 2015. My first few years was 10 or 12 a year, right? 10 to 15 cook-offs a year. And then for whatever reason, I'm like, now this is fun. I'm going to keep cooking. And I looked up and it was 37 in a row. And then it was 76 in a row where I took, I don't know. That's just kind of what I started doing. So
right.
I cooked 50 and 18, 50 and 19, 20. We had COVID. And a lot of them were canceled. I did 35 and 20. So, gosh. And then 50 and 21, 50 and 22, 50 and 23, 50 and 24. So, yeah, basically, I'm just.
What's the biggest number you've done so far?
What's that?
What's the most you've done so far?
I think 51, Aaron. I have to pull up my.
I got 58.
No, yeah, man, I think 51.
That's like 9 doubles too, right?
Yeah. So, we do classes. I've done 5 classes this year, and I don't think I've cooked, I've done it before where we've kind of shifted our classes to Saturday, Sunday. And man, if it's close enough, I'll go cook a cook-off Friday and Saturday.
Sure.
Go home and start that cook-off. I don't think we've done one this year. I know I did one last year. So we've got a few weekends where we're doing a class that's a weekend off, from comps, right? Mm-hmm. But the doubles kind of make up for it. So I don't really look at the number. It's just kind of really what it works out to end up being. Man, in the weekends I take off. And, around Christmas you got a weekend or 2 that's off. So however many doubles I do, man, kind of offsets.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
3 weekends I don't do per year.
So can you tell this man right here it's okay to leave Louisiana and Texas? He can go to Arkansas. He can go to Mississippi. He never leaves. Tell him it's okay to leave.
Even go to Georgia. Just go to Georgia.
There's so many other states. There's like 48 other ones that you can go to all of them. And
go to all of them.
You don't even need passports. You can just drive across.
I love it. Maybe next year we'll do a few more. Spread out the wings a little bit. So, man, that's.
Hey Phil, I want to mention running board for real quick. Y'all went hunting, like caribou or gazelle. How long was that mountain shot that Reed took on that one animal? Y'all were high up the mountains.
Yeah, so man, a barbecue cook over there, man, super cool dude, Scott with Smoky Fish. Man, that kind of hooked us up. He's got some friends. They're big hunters, and man, they know we like to hunt. Like, man, we'll head up to the mountains and man, see if we can't get on some red deer or some fallow. And we did one evening, and the weather kind of, we were kind of dodging some wet weather and this and that, but it worked out where we got to go. And man, we saw some red deer, but the ones we saw were pretty far. We got on some fallow, and ended up with a group of 7 or 8 that were kind of grazing on the neck. It was a valley, and they were on the next hillside, mountain, whatever. And so we laid there for 20, 30 minutes. We're starting to kind of get like, man, he's like, I don't know, mate. We're going to have to make a move. You want to take a crack at it or what? I'm like, man, how far is that? He's like, it's about 300 meters, I'm like, oh, okay. Is that gun on? Yeah. And it's got the windage and all that deal. I'm like, man, it's like 350 yards, right? Man, dial it in on that. Yeah, if it's dialed in, he can take a crack at that. So Bubba got down, and he's prone too. So they had bipods. He was able to get really steady. And we had to wait and let there was all kind of stacked in. They finally cleared out. He had his eye on a real nice chocolate doe. She was real pretty. And man, he sent it. I'm like, oh shit, he hit that thing,
Dang.
And this deer starts going down the hill or whatever. She tumbles like, I ain't got her. And I'm like, wow, that was a long shot,
350-yard shot. Wow. How old's Reed now? Like 12 or 13?
Yeah, he's 12.
12.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's a big hunter.
Oh yeah.
He's been after him since he was I think 6. He killed his first one, Mike. But he did most of them those first few years with the crossbow. He's so little, like just he's little and guns and all. And then I had got this crossbow, years ago when he was little. He's like, Dad, can I shoot it? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think, like I would, so I let him shoot it. Man, he drills this thing. He's like dead eye with it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Man, I guess he can hunt this year. I think he ended up killing like 5 deer that year. And he ain't ever seen one he didn't want to shoot. We'll get out there in the morning. I'm like, all right, buddy, you already got 3. Let's wait on a good one. Like, Dad, look at
so can you imagine that? Can you imagine
he don't care. He's ready to lay one down.
Reed's first week back to school. Okay, boys and girls, what'd y'all do for the summer? Reed, what'd you do? I killed some caribou, antelope. I've been to 5 countries and 1,500 time zones. Oh, you lying? No, I got pictures. Can you imagine the stories he can tell his buddies? I mean, it's just amazing.
You know what I mean? It's pretty awesome. And I think, there's probably a part of it that he doesn't quite realize yet, but he does have an appreciation for it. So I don't think he's oblivious to the fact that not everybody, has done all these things. So it's really, really cool to see where barbecue's taking us for sure.
Yeah, it's really good to see y'all as a family doing all that stuff. It really is. Mm-hmm. Suzette and I will see it, and she'll see it. And I was like, man, he's just building such incredible memories with his son that, can't ever be taken away, and he'll always remember that for the rest of his life. So that's really that's really a cool thing that you're able to be able to get out there and do that stuff. So Reed's a better shot.
What was you always said? It was I'm going fishing to collect trophies or something like that. What was the little saying for a while?
Good about that. He's like, man, they're all just fishing trips. To go collect trophies.
That's pretty awesome.
During the summertime, we like to hunt, we like to fish. Man, in the summer, there's not as many hunting opportunities, so we were always rolling around with fishing poles, and man, it's kind of cool to go to different places and catch different fish. We don't have smallmouth down here, so you go up north and man, catch smallmouth. He's caught sturgeon and man, just some really cool shit. So
that's cool.
That's
cool. Yeah. Hey, Phil, I'm going to swing it back over to New Zealand and Australia and stuff. So, what is everybody in these other countries, they idolize, everybody in the United States, right? They just love the barbecue. They love the teams. It's not as big over there as what it is here. It's just not as many teams and stuff. So what did you find, like the flavor profile? Did you cook the same thing that you did in Texas, or did you kind of, they don't like the flavor as much over here as what they do in the States. How did you play that? Did you just kind of go down the middle of the road and tone it back a little bit?
Yeah, I just, I did the best I could to run my program over there. And that's what I do when I travel. mean, do we really know when we go somewhere what they like there?
Right.
You know, not really. You know what I mean? So what are you gonna? You're gonna go throw darts, hoping something sticks, and you know, for a lack of better options, like, man, I'm gonna go run my shit and see what happens. And that's what I did last year. You know, Nate Blackledge has Barbecue Supply Company out of Australia, and he carries our products. So, you know, he was ordering a bunch, and we were planning that trip last year, and man, me and Bill were going over. So both of us put together our list, our stuff, and we're able to box that and send it and have our stuff over there to be able to run our programs, right? And man, that's just what I did. Obviously, it worked, you know, well last year. Last year, I cooked 3 contests in Australia. Man, I was 3rd overall at the first one. I was 11th overall in the Invitational, and then I won the Open. So, man, I felt, you know, I did really well. And, man, of course, this year we're just going to go, man, New Zealand the same way. Like,
right.
Man, I'm just gonna do my stuff. So,
but are those guys in New Zealand really running something totally different?
No, not really, man. So they're like really in tune with what we're doing over here in the States, and man, feels like especially Texas or whatnot. So they man, I don't know, barbecue. I haven't been all over the world, but the places I've been, man, it doesn't really seem different no matter where you go to an extent, right?
Right.
You know, they're able to get most of the American products over to Australia through all the supply companies. And man, they've got some really good products. You know, I know Rum and Q's got a good line, and then Four Monkeys has a lot of products that a lot of people use. Man, I'm sure I'm leaving out a shit ton of others, and I'm sorry,
right.
but you know, so they're not oblivious to, like, man, they're really in tune with it. They really eat it up. And man, there's a lot of really, really good cooks over there. So they're just fighting different battles. I mean, that's a huge country. It's like the size of the United States, and you know, there's 29 million people in Australia. So
right.
versus like 350 million in the United States.
Right.
So everything's just, you know, can you imagine weekend and week out? Man, we're cooking in San Antonio this week, and man, next week we're cooking in Detroit, you know, and then the next week we're cooking in North Carolina, you know, so it's just, it's a lot of travel for all those guys. So
are those KCBS competitions?
They do have KCB competitions over there. Not too many. To my knowledge, I think they only have a handful of KCBS competitions over there, but the ones that I've done have been ABA. So
ABA, so the Australian Barbecue Association.
Alliance, yeah.
Alliance, okay. Yeah. So Phil, what was you cooking on? Did they get you pits? Did you cook on offsets? Did you cook on drums? Did you have somebody that kind of got you set up at every one of the competitions that you went to?
Yeah, I did. So like this year, Troy, you know, he set me up. I actually used, man, he has a really, really big, I think it's an Octopit, which is a pit maker over there. And if I said that right, and it's a really, really big pit. I don't know how many gallons it is, or it's probably not gallons because it's probably metric, but
yeah.
When the door was open, I couldn't reach the door. And I'm like,
wow.
Man, I had to get like, man, can you get the door for like?
Dang.
It was really, really big. The firebox was like
milk crate.
What's that?
In a milk crate or a cinder block or something. Spare tire.
I didn't want to bring that up. That it was still, I still couldn't reach it.
Aaron say up 8 foot tall reach. I need Aaron over here.
Wow. Yeah, so I cooked on that offset this year. In Australia, I cooked on another offset.
Okay.
And man, I prefer offsets, right? As long as, man, I can get something that's got a lot of room for in the cooking chamber. And man, can we run 300 and burn clean? Man,
that's all you need. Yeah.
Last year I bought an offset and one. I had a drum, you know, which isn't a bad idea to kind of have. This year I had a couple drums. I never ended up using them. Like there was plenty of room on the offset, and man, I'm kind of like I'd rather run one fire than 4.
Right.
But yeah, they
hooked you up.
Having pretty much everything we need as far as equipment, and then man, we would go, like, I shipped all the products over there, so I had like my stuff as far as injections and rubs and sauces. I'm able to get over there everything I want. So we would just go to, like, man, they have, I think it's Bunnings, which is kind of like Home Depot, and they have a grilling section, so they'll have pans and just, man, just different stuff.
Everything you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
whatever?
what about your meats and stuff? I'm sure they have probably good Wagyu beef over there. I mean, what do they have for like rib sources and chickens and stuff?
Yeah, so beef, they do have great beef. They've got Australian Wagyu beef, a few different forms, and everything that Grant Coleman typically, he's been instrumental on the Australian side of having us all the meats that we need. Sun Pork is one of the larger pork companies, and for Australia, Sanders has really good pork, and not what we're used to in the United States, though. Not quite the size and thickness on ribs and marbling that we're used to, or money. So it's I think they all kind of struggle having the quality of pork that we do, and that's just the way it is. But from what I understand, they don't. The customs does not allow any pork inside. Like they can't bring genetics. It's like whatever's there, make it work.
Make it
type
work.
Situation.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comp guys. So if you go to like the grocery stores or meat markets, and the ribs are really small, and a lot of them, and they've kind of got it worked out with the pork guys to get basically the whole rib section, right? So it's like top to bottom. So they're that wide. And a couple teams will have a really big meat saw on site, and all the teams will just take turns running all their ribs through there and cut. Yeah, so
fresh cut.
You gotta peel all the bacon off the top side of the rib. So you're basically breaking down the ribs from almost a half a pig.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool, or whatever. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's something different. Yeah.
So did you do 4 turn-ins? Is it brisket, rib, pork butt, and chicken? Or okay, so it is 4.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would say it's probably like a cross between CBA and KCBS. They allow garnish.
Okay.
So I would just I do kale boxes in KCBS, and I would do kale boxes in ABA.
Right.
But they allow you can do a half chicken if you don't have to have. You do have to have 6 pieces, but you can turn in a half a chicken. So that's kind of a different rule they have. You can turn in 6. You can turn in thighs. So you can do the pieces the same way, and their tenderness, I would say, is a lot probably similar to CBA, a little bit more tender than KCBS.
Okay.
Their judges are just off the street, like doing a score, but they allow garnish. So it's kind of like a mesh blend of that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, I know we was talking about all the pits and stuff that that you was able to get over there. I want to roll it now back to the new Breeden pit. Man, I have seen this. They're new this year, so we haven't really talked about that. I haven't seen a whole lot of talk about it. So, man, take it away. Tell us the inspiration behind it. Tell us what kind of pit it is, reverse flow, whatever you got going on. And a little bit about that whole deal, because I know they've been pretty amazing. I was talking to Hickle the other day, and we was talking about Bill immediately was gonna get one, and I was like, my gosh, this guy's been killing it on drums. That is gonna be completely different. I hope this doesn't kill his program. And heck, he comes out and gets RGC. I guess all pits come with an RGC. So tell us a little bit about that, Phil, because it seems like it's been quite the story.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously there's different ways to skin a cat, right? We don't all cook on the same thing. Some people cook on drums. Some people cook on offsets. You got Jambos, you got Outlaws, you got Gateways, you got Hunt
Rotisserie.
Yeah, rotisserie, right? Yeah. Humper's got cabinet smokers. Pitmaker has. There's no silver bullets in barbecue at all, right?
Yeah,
it's just
right.
Lining up everything the best you can to the best of your ability, and having good meats and good products and good pits, and putting all that together. And then that day, having a little luck to go with it's kind of the way it works, right? But since I've started competing, I built a pit early on, back in 2015, and I had built a couple drums, and I built them out of whiskey barrels. And
I remember this story.
Yeah, so I'll start with the back end of that, right? Which worked really great. I hit first place brisket my first contest. The second one, I hit first place brisket too. But I kind of burnt the bottom out of it, on the second contest. And I thought, if this is going to be a long-term gig, I'm probably going to have to go metal, And anyway, long story short, I came up with this vision of this fully insulated reverse flow offset pit, and I was pretty still, very green in the sport and still soaking up a lot of knowledge, and man, kind of didn't know, but man, I knew that some companies could do an insulated firebox, and man, that was a lot more efficient, right? But not really anybody was doing insulated cooking chambers. And the way my brain works is, man, if the insulated firebox is good, man, it would probably be better if it had an insulated cooking chamber. So, man, that's what I ended up building. Man, with the help of some friends and man, buddy's cheap metal shop, we built this pit, right? And it's got a 4-foot cooking chamber and 2 foot deep, so you can get full pans on there, like 6 super comfortable, but then you can actually stack sideways and get, man, about 10, like if you want to jam this thing up. So for a small footprint, it's got a big cooking area. I like wrapping in pans. I use a lot of full pans, so man, that works for me. Drums, man, you got to bend the corners, and so it's, you're fighting,
for space.
A round peg in a square hole, or a square peg in a round hole, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, that's what I've cooked on all these years, and obviously done very well to me. I did have a couple of things I would like to improve. Hickle nose, man, I've been known to get a grease fire every now and then. When I originally built the pit, the belly in the cooking chamber is flat, and it's got a drain. But I kind of got to be sitting like this for it to drain because everything's flat. Well, in our new models, man, the bottom's flat, but on the inside, it's got a 2-inch grate that drains to the drain. So, man, you don't have grease and drippings getting up against, man, your firebox and eventually jump and catch that grease on fire. So, man, we've made improvements, but kind of jumped ahead, talking to Bill like last year. He was thinking offset and this and that. And I don't remember how we kind of came down to talking about my pits. And he's like, and I'm like, man, I had kind of been kicking around the idea. He's like, man, I want one. I'd roll with one. I'm like, all right, well, man, let's put this together, and man, let me work on the couple improvements I want to do on it. And that took a while for all those to kind of come together and actually get that done. And we built, Bill his pit, and yeah, obviously it's done great. And man, we've had, I don't know, I think we're up to 8 or 9 pits so far, and my goal this year was to really kind of stay small. Like I didn't want to get too big too fast. I want to make sure these units are where I want and see what scalability is, and still keep it, semi-customizable to where someone could get exactly what they want. So, man, I was thinking 10 to 12 that first year, and then kind of see where it goes from that. And man, that's really where we're at. We're building a couple right now. One is what I call a sled model, like we've been building, where you mount on your porch, or it would just be stable. And then we're doing our first cart model too. So, I spent quite a bit of time, designing this in CAD, exactly what we want to build, and now we're building that. So, man, we'll have a cart model out in a couple months or whatever. That's cool. Man, so that was kind of my plan, to have those 2 options, to where you'd either have a cart model or a porch model.
A porch model. Yeah. How much does one run, Phil?
Yeah. So these pits are, fully powder coated with powder coat options for color, whatnot, fully insulated, reverse flow. Man, the units start at $9,000.
That's a good price.
And we're running 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay. How wide is the barrel? I mean, the cooking chamber, is it 42 inches, 4 foot? Okay. Yeah. That's good.
4 foot.
Okay. Yeah, my rotisserie is 42 inches wide. Man, you got a lot of room on 42 inches. So 4 foot, man, that's nice. You can get a lot of stuff in there. So
yeah, 2 shelves, 7 inches in between each one.
Right.
So you could take the middle shelf out if you wanted to, and you could do a whole hog in there, like, as long as it would fit or whatnot.
Right.
So there's some different options you can do with it. I think it cooks big for the footprint. Right.
Yeah.
And every pit, there are pros and cons, and that was one reason. Like, I never really set out to do that. Things just happen and evolve, and stepping back and looking from it. Man, I don't know of offsets on the market like it, right? So I'm not trying to build something like somebody else built. Just have a product that, man, I think can add something to somebody's game and offer something in barbecue that's not already there. Right?
That's the thing.
With the being fully insulated, man, I like to cook 285 to 300 is kind of my slot, and I can hold that temp for a really long time with pretty minimal effort. And what I can't do is like on a Jambo, where you got your microwave shelf, and then man, you open up that stack and give it some, you let that puppy hum, and you can change 100 degrees in
Top to
2 or 3 minutes. Like you can just make it sing as far as changing temperatures. And man, my pit, you can't do that, right? It's really built to hold temp and not fluctuate that fast. So man, everything has pros, everything has cons. But
So I do have a question. So being a fully insulated firebox, I know a guy one time that did one over. He's an outlaw cooker, and man, if that temperature ever gets away from you, he had a really hard time getting the temperature down. Have you seen that problem, or have you got a way around that, or you just say, look, don't build too big of a fire? I mean. When it does, if the fire gets too hot, I mean, it's insulated. It's hard for that heat to dissipate. So, how do you teach people about using that part of it?
Yeah, don't build too big a fire.
There you go. That's
the easiest answer to that question.
Yeah.
However, man, I've built too big a fire before. You know what I mean? Like, man, I've had to learn all these things, and man, sometimes it just takes. Man, shutting all the air off and then dumping a couple bags of ice in there, huh, Lee?
There you go.
And you still grand champion. Yeah.
And you still grand champion, Hey, Phil, what's all that white smoke? Oh, man, it's the kind of wood you're supposed to put in there. It's this new white smoke I've got, man. You don't have to tell them it's steam, it's
grease fires cause me a lot of concern. After that, I'm like, it ain't the worst thing, Like,
That's right. If you did good with the grease fire, you're going to do fine with a little steam from some ice. So
yeah.
Wow.
So, as long as the grease fire is a different situation, right?
Yeah.
You do have to kill that pit. You do have to shut off all the air, and you have to kill that fire.
Right.
So man, depending on how bad it is and how you got to kill the fire, can be a detriment to getting the fire going again. But
exactly,
if you don't have a grease fire and you just built too big a fire and you're not paying attention, the next thing you're rolling 400,
right?
And opening the cooking chamber, to start with, and just releasing a lot of that heat and then choking it down.
Choke it down.
You can get that down. But it's key not to do that.
Try not to get too big of a fire.
Man, it's kind of like leaving the drum off on. Leaving the lid off on your drum.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier if you just don't do that. If you do,
I gave up on that, man. I just kicked that. I don't even have a gauge no more on my drum. I just let her eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do, just get ready for a lot of engagement from your friends.
Yeah. And I guess you're right. All you have to do is just, if it gets a little too hot, just pull some sticks out. If you got your stick burner, get some of it out. Shut the firebox completely. Chunks. Yeah. Chunks.
You don't want those sticks and fails fit.
It don't take much. That's for sure. And then just kind of.
It's actually, I think it's like wood chips. Didn't it feel like a bag of wood chips instead of like chunks?
Yeah.
I do have wood chips.
So he got a pocket knife. He just wheeling little sticks in there.
It's a little, it is a little different getting used to, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And like, man, we're used to, like in Jambo, man, you're putting splits in this. For me, running a Jambo, I'm like, man, I was really kind of fight. Like, man, I got to give it more fuel when I'm used to. Don't give it too much fuel. So it's like anything else.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. Lee, do you have a question?
Yeah, and you came out with another seasoning called a cast iron cooker pinto bean seasoning, right?
Yeah, I released that, but I didn't come out with it. So that was entirely Carl Davis and his blend. And, I'm good friends with Carl, and we talk a lot. And, last year, man, he won 20, I think it was 26 first place beans,
Dang.
which I didn't even know was impossible to do in 1 year. And man, so he's like the bean king, right? And this year too, man, he just crushes in these beans. And he's like, yeah, I developed this season, and I want to, probably one day I'm thinking about selling this. We got to talking, and man, pretty much just worked together to like, look. And if you really want to do that, I'll help you do it. Like, man, we can name it cast. Like, it has nothing to do with me, right?
Right,
it's just a pretty unique deal that, he's like, man, that sounds good to me. Like, I, am able to connect dots as far as putting stuff in shakers and all that. So, man, that's what we ended up doing. And so now we have, cast iron cooker pinto bean seasoning.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Just,
Yeah.
however many tablespoons per pound of beans and roll. So
That's it.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, Phil, I know we're kind of running out of time at 7:50. I want 2 more minutes out of you. I want you to tell me about the Fade to Black because I know that's a new one.
Yeah. So, man, Fade to Black. I've never over the years been like huge black rub fan. Smitty's got the Jolly Roger, and I've always liked it. I'm like, he did a really good job with that, and really had no interest in like having one. And man, I don't know. One day I kind of had this idea, like, man, I always have this idea.
Of course.
But I got this idea, and I'm like, man, I was thinking thinking about the contrast on brisket, which I think that dark looks really good against slices, but not to the point where just have it to have it, right? But I'm like, man, what if that seasoning was like just super, super beefy, right? And man, that's what I came up with for Fade to Black, to have that option of the aesthetics with a super awesome, contrast and have a lot of flavor to go with it. That's the profile on it. It's super beefy, right? It's got the flavors you expect as far as salt, pepper, garlic, onion, but then you get all these, it's like, man, scream beef. And when I was developing it, I would just pour some on the, like in the kitchen. I'd go get a cup of coffee, go to the kitchen, and I'll just do like that. And man, I encourage anybody, if you ever get a bottle, just taste it, and man, you'll like see those flavors come out. So
I'll have to try that. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's got purpose, right? And I like all my products to have. I don't really do products, just have products that all have purposes. So
that's awesome.
Well,
Phil, man, I appreciate you taking the time and coming on at 7:52. We know we got to let you get, and man, everybody leaves this podcast, run over to Chicken Fried Barbecue. Phil's going to be on there. What's the guy's name that won the set the world record in KCBS?
Brett Mac.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show tonight, so it's going to be pretty cool. But Phil, man, it's been great seeing what you've done this last year. We had to get you on, man. I'm not going to go this long next time, but I know you was doing a lot of traveling, and man, we're going to get you back on soon, brother. Just congratulations on your success.
Great catching up with you guys. Glad you got the page back, man. That's scary stuff. And,
it is, Phil.
Nice to see y'all back in action. And
absolutely. Well, brother, we love you, and give Carmen and Reed our love, and congratulations on an awesome year and new products and a new smoker and everything you've got going on. It's been so great to just watch you continue to grow, man.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Thanks you, buddy. Yeah, man. I tell you what, man, Phil is just an absolute awesome guy, man. I mean, they just don't come any better than him. So anyway, well, great show tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys being here and everybody listening to us tonight, man. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited that we're back. So, and hopefully we never have that happen again. So anyway, well, Lee, thank you, brother. Aaron, appreciate you, man. And to all our listeners tonight, man,
look at it. Look what he did, Lee. He said it. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
I always thank you.
I feel special now.
Because we're ending the show a little different. Normally we got our guest on here, and I'm just closing it out. So anyway,
throw a dig in there at you.
I ain't worried about you. Y'all can kiss my butt anyway. So hey, Lee. He gets too lippy. I'll just put him in timeout.
Man, come on.
Oh gosh, I love you guys. Y'all be good. I hope everybody's. I know it. I hope everybody's enjoyed our podcast tonight. Thank y'all so much, and thanks to all our sponsors once again. We appreciate y'all. I hope everybody has an absolutely awesome smoking week, and as we always say, go out there, have a lot of fun, and smoke on.